Hello, and welcome to my second attempt at a Stellaris Let's Play. I have spent like 20 minutes messing with sound settings in both OBS, the Stellaris game, trying different things. I've got a new headset with a better microphone, and hopefully this time it will work. You'll be able to hear me. I was noticing it sounded like I had a bit of an echo for some reason. Like I said, I spent like the last 10 minutes trying to figure out where that was coming from. I can't figure it out. I tried a different headset. The different headset still had the echo and wasn't picking up the music for some reason in the game. I don't know. So back to this headset. Back to here, I'll show you. I've got master volume is up here. I didn't want it all the way up because the music can sometimes get really loud, but I moved all the general volumes down here so that even though the master volume's pretty high up, hopefully even with the music gets really loud, you'll still be able to hear me. The reason I'm starting over, like I say, is because I was not happy with that last video. The first video I tried for this, I've deleted it off of YouTube because the music was too loud. You couldn't hear me. I couldn't hear me when I listened to the video. I was like, maybe I'll try to add subtitles, but I can't stand the sound of my own voice when it's coming from a recorded source. I know a lot of people tell me, oh, you've got a great voice for radio or audiobooks or something, and honestly, that's great. I'm glad other people like it. I can't handle it. I cannot edit my own videos. I cannot give myself subtitles. If somebody else wants to do it for me, I would love you forever. But I tried doing the subtitles thing, and I had to listen so hard for my own voice, and it was terrible. And I did 5 minutes of an hour-long video and just kind of was like, I'll do it later. And that was like a month ago. So I wasn't doing it later, is what I finally realized. So I'm going to start over. That was a big crescendo in the music. Hopefully I'll listen a bit to this and see how it sounds before I post it, but I'm going to go ahead and record this whole thing. I'm kind of tired of messing with the sound settings. If it's particularly bad again, obviously, leave me a comment. Let me know elsewise. I will do my best to make this better. I'm already trying pretty hard to make this work pretty well. The new headset is kind of weird. The old headsets were what are these? Turtle Beach XO1 Ear Force things we got, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. They've lasted us a long time. They're still pretty functional, but they've got like the earpieces are cloth covered or something, and you can hear your surroundings pretty well. This new set is shoot, I'm looking at my wife's headset next to me, and it's like hyper something, hyper X HX. It's not as clear. They didn't print it as clearly on the headset. HyperX, that's what I'm seeing everywhere. So it's a HyperX headset, and I can still hear my surroundings a bit, but not as well as I could in the old stuff. But hopefully that means that the mic is hopefully also better and picking me up better, because I have a tendency to mumble and talk quietly. And I'm trying to work on that. Anyway, so that's all the behind-the-scenes stuff that has happened to get to the point where I am attempting to make this video again. So, I'm going to do a new game. I have no mods, only the DLC stuff, which is all here on the side. Necroids, lithoids, ancient relics, distant stars, humanoids, synthetic dawn, there's story packs, Leviathan story pack, There's species packs, plantoids, humanoids. And then there's like big overarching Federation's nemesis that change like the basic gameplay: Apocalypse, Megacorps, and Utopia. So, last time I had created the Assembly of Eris as plantoids. I'm going to do something different this time. Because I went through the whole thing of making these people how I want it, and talked to it the whole way through. That was most of the last video. So you see, anything that's grayed out here is using stuff from mods that I use in my other games with my cousin. And this is a game with no mods, just DLC. Said that already. And part of why I'm doing this is because you cannot earn Steam achievements for this game if you're using mods. I think there might be a few mods that are compatible, but I don't know what they are, and they're just like cosmetic changes, so they don't do any of the fun stuff that the mods we tend to use. So, anyway, I'm going to go through this. Oh, the other reason I don't want to use that plantoids is I hear through the grapevine, read my cousin, that they're going to be coming out with a new thing that will give like plantoids and humanoids some more special stuff instead of just kind of being generic. Like, they've already made lithoids are special. When you pick a lithoid race, your people eat minerals instead of food, and there's some other changes. And necroids are very different. They're like undead people and can raise the dead of their enemies, or I don't know. I haven't played the necroids. But I'm not going to do any of those. Those are a little complicated. And I kind of want to wait on doing plants now until the new stuff shows up. And I'm like, oh, and then because that sounds like fun. I'm interested to see what they do with the plantoids to make them more unique. But for this one, we could do something mammalian, generic. I mean, not generic, but like the six-eyed creature with the giant nose, or we could be a machine. Except I think that the machines are also a special situation, so I'm not doing machines. Never mind. Forget I said that. We could do generic humans, or brain people, or space elves. I have a race that I played once that's Space Elvia, and I just put space in front of everything, so they're on their space sun, and they're on space stations and stuff like that. It was pretty fun. I was amused to do something like that. I could do an avian. They're kind of pretty. I like the parrots in bubbles. We could do reptilian. I like the kind of snapping turtle look on this guy. These are the cutest creatures in the game, and they're very fun when they show up as enemy empires that are phonetic purifiers that are out to destroy everything except for themselves in the galaxy, and they just look so cute. This is maybe one of my favorites, kind of a draconic fairy type thing going on. There's anthropods, which are like insect-like. We could be a butterfly species. There's molluscoids, which are like slugs and snails. You'd literally be snails. That might be fun. The first species I played was fungoid, a pre-made fungoid species. That was pretty. They look cool. I like the way they all look. I like the way most of them look. I hadn't thought this far. Too cat-like. Or I should say not the right type of cat-like. They're the dignified kind of cat, not the cute kind of cat. You know what? Let's be the foxes. The Fennec style. We're the Fennec people. And our plural is Fennecs. And our adjective is Fennekian. There we go. You can write a biography for your species. I never do. Then we pick our name lists from various, it shows you examples of leader names, that's ship names and fleet names and planet names that it will randomly generate for you. Is there any good mammalian ones? Thadrigden Vekor, the Lifres Kurpadam, that's weird. Srak, daughter of Tig, Mig, scion of Urung. You know what? I like this one. We're going to go with this. Now we pick our traits. So, there's a whole bunch of traits over here. Some of them are red. Those are bad ones, but they give you more points to pick good ones with. So I have 2 points, and this is how much it costs, the point cost. This is how many traits total I can have. Let's not do slow breeders. That makes it just like an extra problem with stuff. Empire Sprawl, it's not. Army damage, sedentary, solitary, repugnant, deviance, fleeting, decadent. Decadent means my people are less happy. Wasteful, we use more consumer goods. Not as many amenities. That's kind of weird. It's like it's repugnant to other species, but the amenities are like helps your people be happy. I guess when other species are living on the same worlds as yours. You know what? Maybe I don't even bother with negatives. I just pick a decent positive one and go with it. Better research, more minerals, more energy. We're ingenious. We're going to get more energy credits. This is like the basic currency in the game, and the better your production of it, the better. The more your production, the better. Actually, we're going to be slightly quarrelsome. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit, actually. But we're communal, so we don't use housing as much. So they live better together. There we go. That's a good couple basic traits. Not too many. I could max it out by giving myself more penalties, but I don't play this game to min-max. I just play this game because it's fun. So we can pick our the type of homeworld: desert, arid, savanna. It tells you the type up there. There's a description down here. There's wet climate. There's ocean worlds, continental worlds, tropical worlds, Arctic, alpine, and tundra. And you know what? We're foxes. We're going to be Arctic foxes. We're going to have Arctic worlds. We can randomize our homeworld name. I don't think I want to do that, though. I like naming things in this game after my cats and after games I'm playing, so mostly Final Fantasy stuff. You know what? My parents' cat is huge. He's like 24 pounds, and he thinks the world revolves around him, and his name is Buster. So the homeworld is Buster. No, even better. The star is Buster. The homeworld, and then we orbit Buster. Our homeworld is going to be Okay, kind of the world develops, and our cat Val4 is very much in charge of us, so we're going to do that. We can choose random starting systems, specific starting systems, like am I basically in Earth solar system? There's a couple options there, but I think I'm just going to go random. Mammalian City. Yeah, looks good. Our origin. So there's different origins. You can start out with... I don't like doing most of them because it changed. Like, I pick my start world, or my world preference is Arctic, and then it's like, oh, and actually we're going to change it to be Gaia worlds. Sure. I mean, maybe that's better, but I'm not very good at playing this game. Start out as a vassal. We have to be a hive mind for that. Start out in a galactic union. But I think prosperous unification is just, I like that one best. It's pretty simple, straightforward. You get extra people, extra population, and extra districts, which I'll go over when we get there. Governing ethics. So this is what our people tend to value. We're going to be egalitarian because sometimes every once in a while I try like an imperial dictatorial or something, usually imperial. But really I feel weird if I'm not at least somewhat democratic. I've never tried corporate. Where you get to like establish branch offices on the worlds of other empires. Let's see, democratic gives you better resettlement chance, so your people are more likely to move where they're needed. That helps your factions. I'm just going to go democratic. We have an election every 10 years, and our democratic leader will have goals, election promises, that if I fulfill, I get bonuses. I'm going to go Xenophile. It helps with, I have an extra envoy, my trade is better, other people like me better. Well, I like other people better. Just how I usually tend to play the game. And, I think we're going to be slightly spiritualist foxes. So we have a religion. And then we have civics. We can be a death cult. More envoys, not a bad thing. Better starting administration or additional administrative capacity. That's always a good thing. Better immigration growth. Lower cost. We're very idealistic, so our people are happier. And we've got a good Byzantine bureaucracy. Complex and almost labyrinthine system of bureaucracy. But it means my bureaucrats give me unity and stability, which can be very helpful. I'm just going to go with that.
You seem overworked. Have you considered joining a union?
And then we can pick our advisor voice.
These alien savages must be taught to kneel when in the presence of their betters.
Whoa! Space! Just think about it!
I'm probably going to go with the Xenophile. She might be my favorite.
Boundless horizons, endless learning opportunities, bleeding edge discoveries.
Thinking machines are an affront to nature. These profane constructs must never be allowed to... Oh, wait.
Oh yeah, the spiritualist values means that our people, the faction that's going to be based on the spiritualists, are going to be like, no robots ever.
I may be an artificial intelligence, but I share your enthusiasm for seeking out fellow organic intelligences among the stars.
Yeah, so Xenophile it is. Spiritualist is a good second. Yeah, we're going to be the Allied Fennec Nations. Why not? And then I get to pick my flag. That's this thing here. It's going to have some amount of green in it, because I always put some amount of green in it. Maybe I don't do... Maybe I do something more like... Ooh, I haven't done an orange and green one before. And I can change how it's divided. And then I can change the symbol. That's a good one. You know what? I have to go with that. It's like a little fox head. And yeah, and the colors kind of emphasize it. I like it. We get to pick our ship appearance. The generic is mammalian. Why not? You can do that. I can pick color variants for my people. That will be random. Will continue to change throughout the game based on who's in. Like, the different people will have different. This is just like the starting ruler. Change the room. This one? No. Ooh, I kind of like the faux wood texture. Yeah. Change the clothes that we're wearing. It's 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 5. Okay, so it's either 5 or 2. 5 looks a little more formal. I kind of like 2. I'm going to go with 2. These are only applicable in other species-looking things. Okay. Save for other games. And done. Okay, I'm going to stick with the medium galaxy. Change. Sure, we'll do a spiral arm. I'm going to have 9 AI empires. We're not going to have advanced AI starts. 2 fallen empires works good. 1 marauder empire. Alright, I'll just do standard tech. Extra habitable worlds, I like that. Extra primitive civilizations by a little bit. Yeah, sure. Crisis strength. Not as hard. Please, not as hard. I'm playing several other games. A game with my cousin, and then another game with both my cousin and my brother. And so the game lasts to a particular victory year. And about halfway through, we get a mid-game crisis. Not an exact time. Actually, it'll be somewhere down here, probably. Maybe not. But there will be a mid-game crisis and an end-game crisis. Usually some invader from outside the galaxy or outside our dimension, or the fallen empires, these old ancient precursor civilizations that have advanced technology and powerful fleets but do not expand. They once ruled the galaxy, and now they're the shadow of their former selves, basically. Sometimes they wake up as part of the crisis and then declare war on each other, and you have to pick sides or try to survive on your own. That's never seemed like a good strategy for us when we reached that point. I've never gone very far in a single-player game. Part of the point of this Let's Play is to try to go a little further in a single-player game. Okay. I don't even know what these mean. How large the pop growth bonuses are. Yeah, okay. I'm leaving most of this alone. Most of this I understand. Some of these things I don't even know if these were options the last time I looked. There's been a few updates since then. Yeah, so that looks good. No advanced neighbors. Yeah, that's good. I don't want that. Okay, let's go. Starting new game. Alright, I totally forgot to look at when I started this video. But I'll go a little, maybe another 20-30 minutes. Kind of get started and then call it good for the first episode. So, we are a theocratic republic led by Baga, daughter of Pult. We're a little bit quarrelsome, so we don't get as much unity. Unity helps us to unlock new traditions, which give us bonuses, basically, as we go. In the eons since the first primitive Fennec communities took shape on the snowfields and ice caves of Valfor, our civilization has spread and prospered. Great achievements were made, both in the advancement of science and on the spiritual plane, as we sought to expand our understanding of the universe and the role we play in it. A council of our most learned priests was convened to advise our elected leaders, a tradition that continues to this day. Now, after the discovery of the Hyperlane network, the finest minds of the allied Fennec nations have finished development of the first hyperdrives. The stars themselves are finally within our grasp. So, this is our starting system. Oh, they've actually named the different stuff. I don't think I've... Usually it's it would be like Buster 1, Buster 2, Buster 3, but maybe it's because it's my special... My home system. They were like, oh, we're gonna give you special stuff. The Elbacan colony is a barren world that I can't colonize. Great. Okay. First off, let's check our technology. Called daughter of Cebu, you're a expert in field manipulation. So you could give me bonuses on our credit income, or I could go. She gets a bonus for researching something that matches her expertise. This number is basically how many physics research points it costs, and then it tells me how long it'll take based on what we're getting. This gives me a plus 20% from physics researchers. That's going to be long-term really good. But also, I'm doing really well with energy credits, probably because I picked that thing that makes us better at it. But it's really easy to, early on especially, to start to lose a lot. This is, you pay upkeep for buildings and space stations and spaceships and stuff with energy credits, so let's go ahead and do that. Her expertise did influence me on that. Amic, daughter of Adel, is just generic plus 10% research bonus, so that's always nice. And you know what? Monthly Unity plus 2. We'll do it. And this is generic research plus 5. Not as good, but decent. We don't have anything great with this, but I'm going to go with the powered exoskeletons for the extra minerals. Minerals are what you need to build stuff on your planets. So, just off the bat, I can't build anything right now, because it's all costs too many minerals. But I'm going to want to build something soon because I don't have enough jobs for my people. So there's two ways to get resources. One of them is to build districts and or buildings. Like this one makes you get people who will turn minerals into consumer goods. Here's your consumer goods. Consumer goods are used to keep your people happy, basically. The administrator, so your empire sprawl is affected by your administrative capacity. You can get bureaucrats who will help with that. Our bureaucrats also help with our stability, which is this. This is our housing limit. We can house up to 13 more pops, is what they call them. Our population is 32. It's like in the millions, so like 32 million basically, but you know, they're not going to type the whole thing out. That's a lot of extra characters. Our amenities represent stuff that helps our people their day-to-day needs. If we don't have enough amenities, we'll suffer happiness penalties, which affects our stability and can increase our crime rate. So yeah, that's one way to get resources. The other way is to take a construction ship and look around your starting system and say, oh look, this green means that I'm already collecting it. If it's white, it means I am not, and I need to build a mining station, which conveniently costs 75 minerals, so I can afford it. The next thing we want to do is take our science ship. Fortunately, we have a survey speed plus 25%. That helps. And start surveying. If I hold shift, I can assign extra orders. The stuff around us. We want to start exploring the stars. There. When you're in this galaxy view, here's the whole galaxy. Here's where I am. That's the core. Kind of gives you a sense of this is a medium-sized 4 spiral arms galaxy. These are the hyperlanes between star systems, and that's how our people travel, is through the hyperlanes. They're like naturally occurring wormhole connections. It's how they get away with fast and light travel, basically. So one thing we want to start doing is exploring things as quickly as we can, so we can start expanding our empire by building star bases to claim other systems. And obviously the way you explore, as I just showed, is to get a science ship working on it. And we start with 100 alloys, which are what we use to build ships and stuff like that, which is enough to build another science ship, so I'm going to do that. Note, I'm doing all this while the game is paused. It's good to queue up a bunch of stuff while the game is paused, so that like I could unpause now and start letting stuff run, but you want to get stuff queued up before you unpause. Kind of make your picks. These are my general policies. I am going to have selective orbital bombardment. I don't bombard enemy planets very often. I tend not to go to war very often if I can avoid it. It's a personal thing. If I can choose like defensive wars, but that means I can't place claims on other empire systems if I want to. And right now I kind of want to be able to do that. We're going to be proactive. That gets us more influence, which is important. It costs influence to build star bases, so we want to have a good income of that. And we get bonus influence when we meet other empires. Sorry, need some water. And as we're proactive, that's going to give us extra stuff. Caution means we it's harder for them and for us to get through the first contact thing, to establish communications, but it's less likely that bad things will happen to us at the start.
Construction complete.
Oh, good. I can't afford to build anything else just yet, but I will get there. That's the advisor telling me, oh hey, by the way, your construction ship is done. Oh, and also, didn't tell me, the science ship is done too. So, we're going to recruit another scientist. These scientists all have research specialties, but they all cost 200 credits to recruit, and then they all have like an upkeep of a certain amount of credits.
And
It
that
says
was found.
says 2. Doesn't always subtract 2 from my monthly gain. I'm not entirely sure how all the math works to tell me my monthly gain. Research it, why not? I probably shouldn't, but a high difficulty anomalies. General strategy is to avoid researching those right away because it stops your people from surveying. But whatever, we'll take a look at it. I forgot I should have paused and read the thing. I forgot I can do that. It's single player. Technically, you can do that. I can do that in multiplayer too. I just never think to. I just usually click through stuff. So I'm going to try to remember not to click through stuff. Alright, so we've got some unexploited minerals here in this system. That's the red guys. I'm going to have my science ship build another mining station to start exploiting that. Stellaris is a 4X game, which is explore, expand, exterminate, exploit. Maybe not in that order. But that's the idea, is you explore stuff around, you get to explore the stuff around you, you get to expand into that new territory you find, you get to exploit the resources you find there, and then exterminate the other civilizations you come across. I don't usually do that last one. I don't usually do the exterminate part, unless they're like a direct threat. But, oh look, we can zoom in. That's our ship, and that's our little drone people, and they're building our mining station here. The little details, if you bother to look at them. I usually don't, but we can also come here and take a look at our science ship, which is doing a magical survey. It's a Star Trek style survey, where you have a beam of light that tells you stuff. So, see, it's only 29% researched, even though I started a little bit ago. It's going to take a while. We're on normal speeds. You can technically speed it up to make the time go faster, but I usually don't.
Construction complete.
It can mess with the gameplay. So now we've reached enough unity to choose our first tradition. I always go with discovery first, but there's also diplomacy or expansion, which are good first options. Or if you really want to start going on the offensive, you can start with your supremacy and get your ships better, or domination's more about dominating your own people rather than other people. I tend to go with domination and supremacy last. Maybe I shouldn't, but Anyway, discovery gives us anomaly research speed is increased just by adopting this tradition. Yes, I need that. Even more important, once we get enough for another tradition, we will get to boldly go and increase our survey speed. Alright, we're doing pretty well energy-wise, so our upkeep is still relatively low. I'm going to go ahead. There is a lot of engineering research to get through, so I'm gonna give us a bit of a bonus by building another research station. Research stations take advantage. Pause. I can do that. Take advantage of some natural occurring thing. The anomalies will explain it a little bit better. Sometimes they're like, oh, hey, there's a thing that we can research here. Although Xeris 3 appears totally desolate and devoid of life, our scanners have picked up an encrypted signal emanating from it. What? Routine, their skill level is 1, so it's only going to take them 150 time units, so 150 days to do this research. Go for it. So it's a level 2 anomaly. Level 1 is the easiest, obviously, and then level 4 is much more difficult. Oh, this was a large amount of ship debris can be found in orbit around this moon, possibly the remnants of some kind of massive fleet action. That one's challenging. Okay, next up, ship design. It will auto-generate stuff. We don't want it to do that. We want to generate our own things. So this is our basic interceptor. I'm just doing this to get the auto out of the corner there. I'm actually going to take that back out because... Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to rename this. This is a basic interceptor. It's got 2 small mass drivers, which do bonus damage to shields, but less damage to armor. And it's got a small red laser, which does bonus damage to armor, but less damage to shields. And it actually gives you like 6 to 16 damage. There's a cooldown between shots is 4.60 time units of some kind. 90% accuracy, 75% accuracy for the kinetic thing, energy versus kinetic. I'm going to change the name. What is... Basic interceptor is going to be the fighter. No, it's too simple. The warrior from Final Fantasy 1. It's going to auto upgrade. There. Now I will know, instead of being like, what's the Raptus? It's the warrior. Then I want to make a new one. I always name my first missile boat the Archer class. I can hit autocomplete. There's not a whole lot to fill in right now. We use nuclear missiles as our missiles. It wants to do extra armor damage. The missiles will go straight through the shields, so that kind of makes sense. Okay, finished an anomaly. So it auto-paused, which is great. Love's labor's lost. Having decrypted the signal, Utha, son of Vedi, was astonished to discover it was broadcasting in an archaic form of one of the main Fennec languages. Speaking in these, thous, and whenceforths, it appears to be reciting one of the lost works of Roba, son of Emat. Sorry, I suddenly couldn't read that word. A renowned Fennec playwright who lived some 600 years ago. It appears that the broadcasting device, a simple satellite dish protected by a small shelter, is the only non-natural structure on the planet. There is no hint as to who left it there or why, but going by the wear and tear on evidence, it must have been there since shortly after the play was first written, long before Fenix learned the secret of space travel. We can only assume it was left there by ancient visitors to Valfor who took a liking to the play and decided to pay our species a strange and unexpected tribute. So, we can say wonderful news, disseminate the recording across the nation to gain ourselves 318 unity, or because we are somewhat xenophile, we can say gift from mysterious broker, benefactor modifier added, making people more likely to change their ethics to xenophile, and making our people happier. I'm going to go with this. It's good to get that unity early on. See, already there's a tradition. Anyway, back to this. I'm going to save this and come back to it. And go pick to boldly go. There we go. Now our people survey things 35% faster, and our science ships are 50% more likely to get away from hostiles, which is nice. Back to, no, not that one, ship designer. Okay, so you can pick a mix of armor. Sorry, it will interrupt me a lot with these things. A mix between your armor and your shields, but your shields use power, and your power generation is based on your reactor. So I currently have plus 15 power. I could make one of these armors that doesn't use power into another shield and have this be shield heavy instead of armor heavy. I'm just gonna kind of leave it like that for now. It's kind of a matter of preference at the start anyway. Really, as you go on, when you start meeting other empires, you will be able to get some intelligence on their ships and determine if they're using a lot more lasers than kinetic weapons, then it's going to be a good idea to add more shields so that they're less effective. Likewise, if they're using more shields, it's going to be better for me to add more kinetic stuff to my weapons. But for now, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, this anomaly finished. Signs of battle. There is clear evidence that a massive space battle took place in close orbit of Mothelum 3A at some point in the last 5,000 years. The surface on one side of the moon is pockmarked with craters from stray weapon blasts, and scans from the ISS Juntas has picked up several hulks on the ground. Though these wrecked ships are all in very poor condition, the fact that anything remains at all after the damage they must have sustained is a testament to their advanced design. Science Officer Srak, son of Sagu, is preparing an expedition to sift through these derelict holes for anything valuable technologies. So it issues me a special project, Mount Graveyard Expedition.
Situation log updated.
Thank you. Here my situation log. Ooh. That's right. This is my situation log also has the my president's mandate, which is to have food production in surplus of 15 per month, which I'm currently managing. So as long as I can keep that until the next election, I will get bonus unity. Oh yeah, because we saw that there's some evidence that maybe there's alien life out there. Fennekian xenologists are practically falling over themselves to publish their takes on the recent findings of alien life. This fevered storm in the scientific community has had some negative yet temporary impact on pursuits in other fields. Remarkable. I don't know what those negative impacts are, but whatever, it's remarkable. So this says science ship must be in orbit around the planet where this special thing is, but it is not time sensitive, so I will be able to come back to this later. And it's a good idea to save a lot of these things for later. That doesn't mean I will actually be doing that. I don't always follow the best advice in these games, because I'm trying to have fun, not necessarily just to play it at the optimal level or something. But yeah, the faster we survey stuff, the faster we can expand, so. Anyway, Habitable World Survey. We now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Valfor, but the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus our planetary survey efforts on habitable, life-bearing worlds, which is a commendable initiative. I can get some free influence right now, but I barely have anything surveyed to claim, much less to spend influence on. I actually like this. It gives me, like, once I finish it, I get engineering events. Engineering research bonuses,
Situation log updated.
or something along those lines. Maybe it's society. But basically, I have to
System
find.
survey complete.
I have to find and come on. I have to find and survey 8 habitable worlds. They don't have to be like perfectly suited for my people. They just have to be worlds that have it. That some species could live on. Okay, first contact protocols. We will greet the Xeno with open arms. That's our policy. I'm sticking with it. There's an anomaly, which is challenging. Unusual readings suggest there may be more to this desolate world than meets the eye on Xeris 2, which is here. But I'm going to leave be for now. I will build another science ship at some point and send somebody out. Actually, I'll probably do it right now. I've gotten some stockpile of 300 alloys here, so let's build a pair of science ships to There, see? Habitable world. Potentially habitable. There's an Arctic world there. Which is actually what's habitable by us, so we really want to get to that system. Oh, goodness, it's been almost half an hour since I said I'd keep going. I'll do just a little tiny bit more. There's a couple things I want to finish up doing here. And then I'm going to stop. My voice is starting to really feel this. So if we come to this system, this is what our people just surveyed. There's Molten World. There's an asteroid belt with a couple notable asteroids. We pick Build Starbase. And it costs 75 alloys to build, and it will cost some influence, but it doesn't tell me that on the thing, which is, unless I'm short influence. I don't know. I find that a little strange, but... Alright, another science ship. Let's do another recruit. I wish I'd get somebody who could do something other than generic research. I want more of these survey speed people. Come on. Let's actually have you start going this way. Just do that for now. Science division gives me more research alternatives. That's a good one to get early. The research options you get for your technology people is somewhat randomized based on what's available as potential research. It is entirely possible to go like a long time into this game and not getting some of these really cheap ones. There's also some rare stuff, like there's some rare technology options that only show up, rarely. There we go. Anomaly research speed, plus 35%. Guess what? Pult, son of Dak. You're researching that anomaly, because you do it faster. Unpause. Brain things. Words. Research. I'm saying a lot, I realize. I apologize. And then I do it again. The research options, the faster you get some of those rare ones, the better, basically. We've got our first Star Order as our first our first fleet. They are defaulted to the that initial pre-generated Corvette class. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade them for 45 alloy total to, they're going to turn into Archer class, which is good. That's missiles for me.
Construction complete.
Hey, congratulations, person. And then if I just do this, it will build mining stations on anything that can be mined in the system, so long as I have enough minerals for it. And there we go. We've claimed our first additional system in the Sejanus Expanse.
Upgraded.
Good. Thank you. Ship designer, right. One more Corvette class to make. Picket ship. We don't need a lot of these, but they get
Survey complete.
pause. They get point defense weaponry, which is useful against enemy missiles and strike craft, like the tiny fighters that carriers will bring into battle. You don't get carriers until the cruiser class, which is 2 classes of starship away. But it's good to have a little bit of this for some extra defense in your basic fleets. So let's see, 1 to 3, 1 to 4. The Sentinel is an energy based. This one is kinetic based. Neither of them do much damage to armor. The flak battery has better tracking. Their range is the same. The Sentinel has... They've got the same accuracy. The Sentinel has slightly more potential damage than the flak battery. Anyway, let's see what the computer thinks I should do. Sentinel. And lasers. Sure, why not? Alright, this is a Picket class ship, so I'm going to call it the Onion Knight class, based on Final Fantasy jobs. Helps stick in my head. And then we've got defense platforms that we can build at our star bases. Our upgraded star bases. So, like, this is a space station. We can add defense platforms to it under defenses. That will make it harder to conquer. This is what they basically did. I'm going to rename this to... the Sentinel. That's a Sentinel. I'm spelling that. Okay. The Sentinel class. And then I'm going to get rid of this class that I don't understand. And then we're going to make a missile base station. And we're going to call the missile base station the Fang. Because I like Fang from Final Fantasy 13. She doesn't get enough credit. And then the other type of station, we can build hangar stations already? Oh, that's right. They gave us scout wings. Only the stations can do that. We can't put starfighters on other things until we research better starfighters, but Scout Wing exists. We're going to call this the Evoker class based on the early on summoners in Final Fantasy III. That's right, I forgot that they did that, and that was in an upgrade. Previous versions of the game, we couldn't do hangars on space stations either until we got actual starfighters. I like doing a single heavy with point defense combo. I'm gonna mix that up a little bit, have some of both the kinetic and the energy. And a giant laser. Why not? That's armor damage. Sure. And this is going to be the... I like doing this because I don't want a dedicated point defense station, but also a dedicated like heavy artillery style large battery station seems a little bit overdoing it for a single station. When you're limited on the number of defense stations you can build overall. Whereas I like dedicated missile stations because it's like, yeah, lots of missiles. All the missiles. This one will be the Black Belt, based on the very original Final Fantasy I, because it hits hard, but also it hits a lot of times. You know, I'm making this up as I go, except for the Archer. I always do an Archer. Okay, so like we see it's 0 out of 6. You'll get this number will go up as you upgrade the station. It is currently, what is that? It is a star base, a star hold. Yeah, so this is like a star base. Your generic, weak little, I have a claim in this, I've claimed this system for my own, basically. This is a star port, which is an upgraded version where you can build stuff like your shipyard and trade hubs and stuff like that. My cat has joined me. Cecil, do you have to walk down my chest? It makes this very awkward. He doesn't care. I haven't named a planet after you yet, Cecil, but I'll get to it. Okay. So, yeah, I'm paused. That's basic. That's all the basics. My voice is dying. I'm going to call it here. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope the sound worked better this time around, and that this time I can feel some pride in my video that I will be more inclined to continue the series. I hope you enjoyed. I'll talk to you next time. Bye for now.